The Portland Timbers were playing in their first playoff game since 2021, and for San Diego FC, it was their first playoff game ever, but it was the top seed that came out playing the game and not the occasion. Portland, after the first 30 minutes, were certainly in this game and showed a hell of a lot of fight after being down 2-0. Unfortunately, it was just that start that was too much to overcome later on in this game for Portland.
We started a little bit too nervous, a bit cautious. A couple of the younger players, it was a big occasion for them, and they started with a little bit of fear, and then once we went 2-0 down, we then lost all those nerves because we had nothing to lose, and then we dominated the game. In terms of dominated the game, we were really in the game.
Attacking wise, you learned some things from this game. First and foremost, Christopher Velde is absolutely a DP and somebody you can build the attack around in 2026. The main Apple TV broadcast mentioned today how the Portland Timbers had the third lowest XG of any team in Major League Soccer. That will not be the case in 2026. He is a volume producer, and in this game, there's a few times where if you just hit pause, there is 4 to 5 Navy jerseys surrounding him, and he typically always makes the right read. There was one moment where Ian Pilcher should have got a yellow card, but in the 54th minute, Pilcher, the young fullback, is draped all over him, and then Velde releases an unreal ball to David Acosta on the left wing, which segues me into the second attacking note I learned from this game against San Diego. Portland, they're going to have 35-40% possession at best in any game of this series against San Diego, but they can absolutely get in behind this San Diego squad.
Yeah, I mean, for Christoph tonight, that's a normal type of game. You know, you play for Olympiacos, you play Champions League football, that's a normal type of game. That's not something that's out of the ordinary, you know, like for Finn and for Ian Smith, Juan Mosquera's first playoff game, David Ayala's first playoff game, that's new to them. But for Christoph Velde, that's his level. That's the level he wants to play at. So that's really. I think he's producing moments at the big moment. He's producing big moments for us. You know, I think the cross that Kamal should have scored was from him, and he looks a real threat on the counter-attack. He looks a real threat when he's got possession of the ball.
Portland lost this game, unfortunately, from the 61st to the 66th minute. Anthony had a breakaway. He made the defender fall. He showed a good strength to get that breakaway on the right wing. He was unsure of himself on the finish. CJ Dos Santos does not rush out at him enough to justify the chip attempt he had. Anthony on those one-on-one chances is on the left wing, and he'll just run out of time to bring it on to his dominant right foot. But this time around, he was on the stronger right side, which should be a favor on his dominant foot, but still went with the chip instead. And then 2 minutes later, Kamal Miller has a header that he certainly finished and more in the wild card, but in this game, he heads over the bar. Very good work by Felipe Moore to get the flick-on header within the 18 to give Kamal Miller that chance. And I'm not going to fault Miller that much because that's a tough one to react to, but that is 2 golden chances there that I just mentioned where neither of them, you make CJ Dos Santos even make a save.
You look at the chances at 2-1 for Anthony and Kamal, and then Chris Pencil takes over the game. This game is all about, not about out of possession. This game wasn't about out of possession. This game was about the Chris Pencil, and congratulations to him. It was Chris Pencil night.
Avoiding fouls against San Diego FC is hard enough as is, so to have Jimmer Forey have 2 yellow cards within the span of a minute, each in the attacking third, is unacceptable because you're likely going to just pick up a yellow card by the sheer defensive work you have to do against Anders Dreyer, and now you're putting an MLS rookie Ian Smith against Dreyer in the biggest game of the season, Game 2 on Saturday night. As for Jimmer Forey, we know the yellow card issues that plagued him at the start of the season, but that is now 2 of maybe the 4 or 5 biggest games of the year in which he's gotten himself sent off. It happened in the Club America game, one which if the Timbers won in regulation, they would have went on to the 8-team knockout round. So for Forey to sort of let one yellow card bleed into another, and now that's 1 loss that's going to bleed into Game 2, is a really disappointing way to hopefully not, but could end his 2025 and the Timbers season.
Yeah, obviously a red card's going to change things, especially in such short succession. To be honest, I think we kept a good intensity despite going down to 10 men. I mean, obviously we've become a bit more open, and I think we started pushing through it more in that last, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. But it's just disappointing to not get anything from the game.
Portland cannot start on Saturday like they started this game today because their season will be over. Chucky Lozano is likely coming back for that game, per Andrew Wiebe on the sideline reporting for Apple TV. And the biggest thing that plagued San Diego before Valakari ultimately broke the deadlock was not being clinical in the box, and also big kudos to James Pantemis for 2 big saves, coincidentally on each of the San Diego fullbacks. But Portland needs to come out and be the aggressor. I'm not expecting them to have more completed passes, to press more, or even to have more possession than San Diego, but they need to be more decisive on transition because they certainly showed a skill to get in behind. Great long ball passes out of the back by Kamal Miller. We've seen that route to Velde work a lot. We've seen David Ashala, of course, with these long diagonal switches. Anthony needs to be more decisive. He was uncertain of himself on that one moment I brought up. But Velde, David Acosta, it will likely be more again, and Anthony, they're going to get 5 or 6 direct chances where the ball actually falls to them. They need to convert 2 or 3 of those to win on Saturday night.